So with WWE 2K25, we had the brand new The Island added. Now, I wanted to touch upon this because I'm an avid NBA 2K25, 24, 23, with the city there, my city, and I was under the impression this was going to be the same. Now, as you can see here, this has been sped up by 4 times. This is how long it took for me to even just get in the island. Now, it could be the fact that the servers aren't fully ready yet. We're on 7 days early access. Possibly down to that, but we get into multiple issues a little bit later. But anyway, back to the island, and we finally get into the island now. And as you can see, we have the normal sort of setup, the same as you would in NBA, right? If you never played NBA, it's meant to be like a city that's alive between you and other players online. Now, this footage has been sped up to double time, so ×2. We have the introductional guy at the beginning, like always, like you would of any game. And then we went to have a little explore around the city. Now, they have the shops, but the first thing I noticed with the island altogether is everything is very, very clunky. The menus are slow. Your player or your wrestler moves around very slow. There are far too many loading screens. Everything seems overpriced with VC, in my opinion. Way too early. Now, don't get me wrong, VC isn't hard to attain like it is in NBA, as it is in WWE. But I will add on this that look at the loading times as I'm going from one shop back to the island. This needs to be fixed as soon as possible at 2K. Anyway, so we've had a quick explore around. Obviously, we can do our run like you can whether you were playing a game normally, but the movements are very slow. Now, the immediate thing I noticed when I went to the menu is it says here, check out all 5 unique locations. Now, these unique locations are essentially just loading screens to go into an arena. Very similar to NBA, but at least in NBA, that the transitions are very fluent. Whereas this is like a loading screen behind a loading screen behind a loading screen. And you can see here we have the normal setup, like the daily challenges, the VC you can buy, train your player up, etc. Now, we have a run around, and I was thinking, oh, maybe there'd be like a daily spin reward, something similar to what they would have in NBA. There's obviously an ink shop there, and then we go into the first location. Now, I was under the impression, very similar to NBA. Again, maybe this is my fault to compare it too much, but I was under the impression this was going to take me to like a PVE area or something that has a little bit of life in it. Now, this is a PvE area or an online area where you can go ahead and fight. But again, you can see here the loading times. Bear in mind, this is double speed. The loading times are unbelievably long. Sometimes you just want to go on a game and play it. You don't want to sit around waiting for these loading times to come through. Finally make it in, and I thought, okay, this is like going to be it. But look how like lifeless this seems. You see, Hell in a Cell is what we got there, and that is all is in there. A couple NPCs walking around, nothing too crazy. And then we have to just exit again and then wait for the loading times again. Now, my experience over the island so far, obviously I recorded this earlier and now I've played it a little bit more. It seems like a prototype. It seems like a beta. It seems very lifeless. Like there is our like area to basically my booth to change your appearance, work on your moves. And then there is a couple stands if you want around that just have nothing to do there. There's another arena that we can enter. There's a statue, as you can see. Just normal things, but nothing does anything. It's all just scenery. Now, maybe later on they add it in the future. Who knows? But to travel or traverse around the island just takes far too long. Your player just doesn't move quick enough. And a lot of places are just empty restaurants that don't do anything. And I understand that this is meant to be like a world, if you like, very simulated. But there's just not enough things going on. Look, empty shops don't load in properly. They've got some arcades here, vending machines, but no one really interacts with them. Maybe I'm just being extremely picky, but it just feels like a lifeless clone. Now, we end up going into Arcade of Tomorrow to have a look in there. And as you can see, more loading screens. And again, I will remind you, this is in double speed, so it is 2 times the speed. But again, more NPCs around. There's an online player in there, but it just feels so lifeless. Like nothing happens and nothing goes on. And you can see that that's what we're going to find. Opponents online. Not really much to do. And then if we look at the menus, you can see here we've got the training shop where you can go ahead and level up your player with VC, etc. And just like with NBA, it's very, very expensive and pricey for what you get. And then other things on top of that as well. There's quest challenges that are just a normal wind in the mill sort of thing that's not very exciting. So what I saw from the trailer and what I was told, or what would look like it was going to be really promising, has ended up being, in my opinion, grossly misadvertised of what the island is. There's just nothing to do in it. It might as well be called a desert island because there is nothing on there. But you can see there, 99 rate is going to take you about 130,000 VC, which is cheaper than NBA, I will mention, but I don't know. I'm very, very disappointed with the island. I know a lot of the community members, the videos I've watched, are also disappointed. But let me know how you feel about it.